Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my nightmare.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Let me play with this, Daddy.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fear Freaks Podcast. My name's Braden.
I'm Destiny.
And we are the Fear Freaks. Got a very, very exciting episode tonight, a movie that I've been waiting to talk about for quite some time, ever since we saw it. Destiny finally had a chance to watch it. Tonight we're talking about Jordan Peele's Nope, his third film that I very much enjoyed. So I'm excited to get into tonight's episode. But before we get into tonight, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. I see that we've got Lamondre Gillard. What's going on? Good Real. How are you? Or Brett, man. I literally say I will never not say Good Real every time I see it. I'm just like, Good Real. How are you? I could just say Brett, man. Brett, man. How you doing? Ashton, Denise, Misael. What's going on, buddy? Glad to have you in here. And he says it is about damn time. I know that's what I've been telling her for the longest time. I've been like,
It's about time, okay? Let's not be dramatic now.
Okay, it's about time. But I know in his mind he's saying it's about damn time. It is about damn. That's just, okay, you know what? I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud for the people. But glad to have you guys all in here tonight. Thank you guys so much for being in here. Ian, I see you just came on. And I see that you're also excited to hear our thoughts. And don't worry, we're going to talk a lot about Nope tonight. We haven't. This is all going to be spoilers. So for people that may have not seen it yet, we are talking heavy spoilers on Nope. So that is your warning. And see, look at this. See, Misael says Braden knows me so well. He was thinking in his mind, it's about damn time. Not it's about time. Okay. But anyway, Destiny, welcome into the show. What's in your world of horror this week?
I finally watched Underwater.
Okay.
You know, on trend being late to movies, apparently. So I watched Underwater, which I really enjoyed that one. I'm claustrophobic, and I'm also terrified of, like, the ocean, like the deep ocean. And so I found it pretty effective. I kind of thought it was going to affect me more just because it's too, like, I'll watch TikToks of, like, scary ocean videos and, like, feel really unsettled. And I watched this and I didn't quite, like, get that feeling, I guess. I was hoping I would have been more, like, I don't know, more anxiety. Usually I don't want anxiety from movies, but this is, I feel like, a safer sort of anxiety. And it just didn't really do it for me. So I gave it, like, a 3.5 out of 5. I did like it. I felt like some of it was predictable. Like, I could see who's gonna make it and not make it, but overall I really liked it. It's like Alien but underwater, so that's pretty cool. And then today I watched a movie called A Wounded Fawn. It just got added to Shudder this month. Pretty weird. It's a weird movie. It gets pretty crazy, so kind of don't know how I feel about it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 as well. I did like it. I saw that it probably takes some rewatches to, like, fully grasp what's going on, because it just really, like, left field weird shit, but visually really cool. And it's sort of like fresh, but, like, not at all like fresh, but it starts out like that. So I really like that. And it's, like, I'm pretty sure it was shot on, like, 16 millimeters, so it looks beautiful. It looks like it has all the little marks and stuff in the movie, like when you're watching, like, a VHS or something. So it was pretty cool, just quite weird. And yeah, weird. You should watch it though. And then besides that, Criminal Minds.
You're still on your Criminal Minds binge?
I made it to season 2 finally.
She's made it. How many episodes are in those? Is it like 24 episodes?
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes.
Like, I was gonna say, because old TV shows like that, they used to have, like, extended seasons. Like, it was like 24 episodes at a time. Now they just pack everything into, like, 10 episodes. But that also kind of nowadays keeps you more on edge, like, to want more in a season 2, which I'm cool with. I'd say 10 episodes nowadays, like, I'd say that's honestly, it's good for me. It's like 10 hours of TV, right? It's like I can sit down and watch an entire season. It's not hard to get through. It's binge worthy in like 2 days. The 24 episode ones, like you started watching that like 2 weeks ago, right? Like right around Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, it was that Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, yeah, then you've been on that for a couple weeks. So, but see, like that's how long it could take to get one of like those old shows binged because of how long. But I'm sure it's worth it. I'm sure it gives you, a lot of TV and whatnot. But what else is in your world of horror? Is there anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm gonna be bringing it up every week. You need to start watching Criminal Minds.
And I will make that one of my New Year's resolution shows for 2023. Even if it's late 2023, I promise you I will get through it eventually.
It's worth it.
I definitely will get through it, I promise.
And there's sorry, one more thing. There's just so many people that pop up. Because like I said it like last week, I watched the show a lot as a kid, and it's when I felt like I really wasn't aware of like actors and stuff. Like I just be like, oh, there's that person. But I kind of forgot who's all in it. And so far within like what I've seen, Tony Todd was in an episode for a little bit. One of the bad guys from The Last House on the Left remake, he's in it. The fucking kid from Spy Kids and Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
He was just in an episode I watched last night. So there's always like a bunch of people popping up. The girl from Jeepers Creepers 2 that sadly like just passed away like last week. She was in an episode that I literally just watched before we got on. So there's always new people popping up, and like there's so much more horror stars that pop up later on. So it's really cool. A lot of familiar faces. So
that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. I love when you're like watching a TV show and you're just like, where the fuck is he from? Or where is she from?
Yeah.
They're from somewhere. And then I got to pull up IMDb and do some research and all that. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely do want to watch it. That's definitely it's been on my list of shows to watch for the longest time. And I know now that they had that new season come out or it's currently on TV, I understand that that's going to be a big thing again. But here's a question from Ian. He's asking, guys, what do you think of Dave McRae as Freddy in Dylan's New Nightmare? I'm not gonna lie, man. The makeup looks fucking phenomenal. I mean, the makeup alone got me excited. I got to see him in action. They had that one teaser that came out in like November of 2019 or whenever it was, and it seemed good. But now I'm just patiently waiting to see the trailer. So, but I know that Dave, I know that he took this role very seriously. I've heard him talk about it on his channel. He has said that he treated this as he would treat any sort of professional production. And I mean, as you should when you're working on fan films nowadays, right? Because like these fan films look at them. They're such high quality nowadays that if you don't take it seriously, it's almost like, well, why the hell are you doing it? Right. But from a first look standpoint and the images and Miko Hughes being back, that's awesome. It's got me excited. It's got me really excited to see what they're doing. So
I would agree with everything you said. The makeup looks awesome. Especially the one picture where his like mouth is open. I was like, oh shit. That looks really good. So I'm really excited to see it. And like, what you're saying, that like Dave took it seriously, but he's not trying to like emulate Freddy Krueger, and he's not trying to like copy Freddy Krueger. He's trying to like make it his own while still like paying respects to that. So I'm really curious to see how he plays it, like what he thinks Freddy Krueger is to him. So, I'm excited for it. I've been I don't remember when I found out about it, but I was like, holy shit, it's like a little sequel to like New Nightmare. That's really cool because I love New Nightmare. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that I do know that it's a short. I know it's going to be a short. It's only going to be like 25, 30 minutes or something like that. And it might be 30 minutes with credits. So it's going to be like a 25-minute. I know, I think Dave actually posted in something in his community section when he was initially talking about it. He said that it is probably part one of either 2 or 3, maybe even 4. So this is going to be like a little extended mini series. And maybe if it gets enough, love and support, maybe they'll merge all of the part 2, 3, and 4 into a feature. That could always happen in the future too. There's a lot of different things that can happen. I mean, look what happened with Never Hike. They did that because they were initially going to be doing part 2, 3, and 4, and they just merged it now into a feature-length movie. So Misael says, are the rumors true you guys haven't seen Midnight Mass yet? Yes, the mic is held up to my face. I've not seen Midnight Mass yet. I do need to see it, though. I do. I want to see it. Destiny, have you seen Midnight Mass yet?
No, dude, I've had so many people get on my ass. Like, Mia is always on my ass about watching it. And I will watch it. But, look, I texted her that Sunday when I started watching Criminal Minds. And I was like, I think I'm going to start Midnight Mass. And she's like, you should. Then I watched the first 2 new episodes of the new Criminal Minds. And I was like, damn, I have to start from the beginning. Like, I miss it so much. And so I started Criminal Minds, and she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I know, I can't help myself. I'm going to watch it, though.
I know. I got to watch that. I still have to watch Blind Manor, too. I haven't seen Blind Manor yet either.
See, I've seen Blind Manor, and I cried.
Yeah, okay.
I sobbed.
Okay. I've seen the first episode of Blind Manor, and it did intrigue me. I'm definitely excited to continue that. So, I need to watch Blind Manor. I need to watch Midnight Mass. It is very unacceptable that Midnight Mass literally came out last year and I haven't seen it yet. And I'm a big Mike Flanagan fan too, which is even more of an unbelievable reason as to why the hell I haven't seen it yet. It's like I'm sure everyone in their head is like, are you though? Are you really a big fan if you haven't seen it yet? I'm sorry, people. Okay. Like, I can't sit down and watch everything like I'm in high school. I can't just sit down and watch everything in line that I want to watch. I wish I could. I really do wish I could, but unfortunately, I cannot. We'll get there. And when we watch it, we will have an episode on it. So that way we can talk about it, okay? Because that fits right
I'm sure that'll be easy.
Yeah.
Fit 10 hours into a fucking hour-long little discussion.
We could do an hour and a half for that one. Let's try maybe 2 hours. Who knows? In fact, we can just watch the entire series and make one long extended podcast episode. We're just going to do a 10-hour binge episode. We could try and do that. What the heck's going on over there?
Thorn is literally right here.
Oh, I thought I almost said Elvira, but almost.
After I just said Thorn?
Yeah, almost. But okay, nothing's really going on in my world of horror. Started Wednesday, and that's pretty much about it. Very much enjoying that show. But that's basically it as to what's going on with me. So let's get into tonight's topic. We are talking about Jordan Peele's third film, Nope. And I've been a Jordan Peele fan, honestly, I've been a fan of him ever since he started his comedy sketches on Comedy Central. I mean, I'm sure that's where everybody essentially got into Jordan Peele, or maybe not. I'm sure a lot of the horror fans started getting more familiar with him when Get Out occurred. But the man is doing a great job in horror right now. And there is something I do want to discuss. This is something that I saw this a lot on the internet when the movie was in its marketing phase. I saw it even more so when the early reactions were coming out. And that is, why was there so much hype behind Nope, right? And I want to talk a little bit about that because I do find it very interesting. I feel like that this is a constant thing. Even no matter what movie that you see that might be a part of a franchise, you see a lot of people saying that they're hyped about it, right? And I want to talk a little bit about the hype element. Well, why is there hype behind anything? Well, you have a filmmaker like Jordan Peele that has made a movie like Get Out, that nobody really knew what to expect with Get Out. He's coming into horror from comedy. He is kind of the comedian that started showing what comedians can do with horror. And Get Out was incredibly successful. So then when Us was coming out, there was also a big amount of hype behind Us. And people were also like, well, what's all the hype about? Well, the hype is about that this guy just made an incredibly successful movie, won an Oscar off of it, and now you're automatically curious as to what he's going to do next. And then Us was pretty successful too. So then naturally, now that Nope is coming out, there's the answer as to why there's so much hype behind Nope, because the consensus for the most part is that people loved Get Out. People loved, what are you doing?
Continue. Just pretend nothing's happening over here. He's like taking my shit down.
Okay. Yeah, like, so then there's naturally going to be hype when the third movie that this filmmaker, who has made 2 successful films in the past, has created. And that I just wanted to talk about that really quick because I find it interesting that people are like, well, why is there so much hype, right? And there's the reason that films get so much hype for those of you that may not have known that. I know that there's a lot of people probably saying, well, Braden, that's natural, but I see so much of it online where I'm like, you know what? It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like people just understand where the hype comes from. So yeah, I personally very much enjoyed this movie. I very much liked it. I had a chance to see it in theaters on opening night. I actually went with Misael. Him and I went to go see it together. It was a great time. We both very much liked it. Destiny, what do you think of Jordan Peele's Nope, having just watched it a couple weeks ago?
I really enjoyed it because I went in, luckily, even though it had been a little bit since it came out, there's still nothing really spoiled for me. I only saw some people dressed up like in costumes from the movie, but that's really it. That's all I saw, which I'm so glad that it wasn't spoiled because even though like when you're talking about like the hype and stuff, like yeah, there's gonna be hype around a movie that Jordan Peele is doing because of what he did with Get Out. He came in so strong with his first horror movie and it was amazing. And so I feel like anything he does, people are gonna go see it because of what he did with Get Out and what he's been consistently doing. And there's always something more to the movie than what we see in the trailer. There's always something else to his movies, and I think that's what people find so like interesting and they're curious about because it's like what's going to be. It's not like M. Night Shyamalan in a way, but in a way it is. Like they go in like, well, what's the twist going to be? And I feel like there's something like that in Jordan Peele's films too, because there's always just something more than like the surface level. But I really enjoyed it. I saw a lot of comparisons to Jaws. I did see that. And in my head, I was like, the only thing I can think of is we're not going to see the full whatever the fuck's going on until like the third act towards the end. Which, yeah, like I was right about that. But
Right.
Besides that, I didn't really know anything going into it still. And there's so much speculation as to what this movie is going to be because all we got for a while was like, okay, we got 3 cast members. Awesome. Cool. And then we got a poster that really doesn't show almost anything. And we're still just like, what is this movie about? And there just was no real like plot synopsis. There's like a motorcycle. Can you hear it?
Is that over by you?
Huh?
Is that over by you?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it just a little bit, but it's nothing that's too distracting, at least from my end. So
I think they're leaving. Okay. Anyways, there's just so much speculation about like what the movie's gonna be, and so we got our poster, and you still didn't know. We didn't really have like a full synopsis of anything. So finally, when people start theorizing it's gonna be about aliens because it's like the not of planet Earth and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in the clouds, like there's something going in the clouds and stuff. And even when there's still so much speculation, I feel like people still weren't exactly right. Like there was still a part of the movie that was surprising for me at least because, going into it, I'm still thinking aliens this whole time. I'm still thinking it's an alien and a UFO. And then it's not. I mean, in a way it is an alien, but the thing itself is the alien. And that's really cool to see like an alien movie done that way because I feel like, at least I've never seen an alien movie that where the thing that you would think is the UFO is the actual animal or creature, like whatever the fuck it was. So I thought that was really cool. And there's some stuff from the trailer that I was like, oh man, I'm worried that shows too much. Like, what's going on here? And it really wasn't. There's a part I remember in the trailer where you see this bloody hand come through, and I was like, that's the alien's arm. I know it is. And it wasn't. It was the fucking
No.
monkey's hand. Or
Yeah.
the lady with the face. I'm thinking the aliens are like sucking her skin off or something. Also not the case. So I feel like they did a really good job at like misdirecting the audience, because now you think it's just aliens and you see all these images, and that's just not how it plays out. So
Right.
everything I saw from the trailer, I felt like it still didn't give anything away really. So I really like that.
Right.
It was a surprise.
Absolutely. And I think that you hit it right on the head. I think that they didn't give away anything with marketing, which thank God. I know Universal is one of those companies where you never know what you're going to see in a trailer that comes from Universal. So I was happy to know that they marketed this film to where now I'm glad that you didn't see after the movie started playing, they released a new like minute and 45-second trailer that actually does. And this is prior to it being released overseas. It was released here. It hadn't been released in a few other countries yet. So for some people that may have seen it before it was released in their country, they at the end of the trailer, it said it's not a ship. And then it literally just shows exactly what it showed the entire thing. Right. That's why I'm saying there. I'm like, I was like, there's no way that it's not released in certain countries, and Universal just posted this trailer because it spoils literally the entire thing, which is just crazy. So, but I would have been so upset. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? So is there any point of even me going and sitting and watching this 2 hour and 40-minute movie? No, there's not. And I will say, in my opinion, this movie didn't feel as long as it was. I honestly, or how long is the movie? It's not 2 hours and
like
40 minutes.
2 hours and something, I think.
I think I'm crazy. Let me look. How long is this movie? It's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't feel like that. And I understand, and I see a couple people in the chat saying that it was slower than Get Out and Us. It is. But I still very much enjoyed myself. Now let's talk a little about our characters in here. We've got Keke Palmer, who plays a character named M. That her full name is Emerald, but they call her M throughout the course of the movie. We've got Danielle Kaluuya, who is a returning cast member for Jordan Peele, and he plays OJ. I love Danielle Kaluuya, and I just think that even though OJ was my favorite character in the movie, I did kind of think M got a little too annoying at times for me, but OJ, he is a character where he has a lot of expressions that he has to give. Like when he's like more of like a down in the dumps character. Like he's very quiet and secluded. And even in the beginning, when he's giving that presentation, his family is horse trainers for Hollywood Productions and everything. So when he's explaining the rules to this, you could just see the hurt in his eyes. You can see that this man has seen some shit. And you just kind of want to give him a hug. Like he lifts it. He's like, my name is OJ. And he just like kind of like starts his whole thing. And I love Danielle Kaluuya. He's fantastic in the movie. But then our third character that we follow is Steven, is played by Steven Yeun, and he plays Ricky Jupe Park. That's who he plays. And there's a little bit of a backstory with his character as to why he got into what he's into in the movie, and we'll talk about that soon. But Destiny, do you have a favorite character in this movie?
My favorite character, I forgot his name. He's not my favorite. Who was the other? Was his name Ryan? Or am I making that up?
Who?
The character that worked at he's like the at the computer or the electronic or whatever the fuck the store was where they buy the cameras from.
Oh, yeah. Angel.
Where did I get Ryan from?
I have no idea.
I would say OJ is probably my favorite as well, just because I feel like he gives such a realistic human act. Like there's just something so like true to his character, and I've seen a lot of people, not a lot, I would say that's dramatic, but I've seen people complain about him in the movie. They felt like he wasn't utilized enough, but there's even like subtle acting is still acting, you know? There's a lot of small moments that he gets that just feel so true to like how we would probably react when something like this is going on. And so I would say him, and I really liked Angel a lot too. Because where like OJ is more of the calm sort of what's going on. I feel like Angel is the opposite. Like a lot of the shit, he was kind of like, what the fuck? And I really liked his character too. But I think everyone did a great job. I did think we were going to get more Steven Yeun though. I was surprised we did not get as much of him as I thought because he is one of the big ones on the poster.
Honestly.
So I thought he was
Yeah.
going to be in it more. I was upset he wasn't because I do love that man. But I think everyone did great.
See, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like, and I've seen on I've seen on Twitter, and even Jordan Peele said that the initial cut of this movie was like 3 hours and 50 minutes. There is honestly a lot of stuff shaved off of of this movie, and you could feel it. I feel like there's a lot of backstory that, like, there's a couple shots in the trailer where like we see that one dude with the glasses on and he's walking through the crowd of people running and everything. That I don't really know. That wasn't in the movie, right?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Like, because I didn't even recognize the dude from the trailer
Yeah.
in the movie. So like that wasn't in there. Like there's a few other things I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but I just know that there is a longer extended cut of this movie, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff that was trimmed from what happened with the chimp. You know, the chimp, that is how the movie opens. It's a crazy opening because it's like, you know, you think you're just watching this like children's show, and then that happens and the chimp goes absolutely berserk and just kills pretty much everybody on the show, except Steven Yeun's character, which he goes by Jupe in the movie. So he kills everybody except Jupe, and he hides underneath the table, and like it's crazy. It's a very interesting way to open the movie, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder where that's going to go, and we
Yeah.
never really get a whole lot of clarification as to where it goes, at least to my knowledge. I know that we got that like flashback and stuff, but go on.
Yeah, there's not really like you're saying it, because I was the same way. I was like watching it and I was watching the opening and I was like, how does this like connect at all? Like what is going on and stuff. But what I think it is, it's the same thing as Jean Jacket, as we're gonna call our monster alien animal thing. So I think what it is like the chimpanzee also is Jean Jacket, but on a much smaller scale. You have like something that's not in the environment it's supposed to be in, and when something kind of goes wrong they attack. So I feel like that's what it is. And then there's a whole part with the shoe standing straight up, and because I've watched some videos about it and people say it's like it's a bad miracle, you know, it's like an unlucky sort of phenomenon that's like happening right in front of you. And I feel like that's what the whole movie is, you know. It's all a bad miracle. You have OJ's dad who's like on the horse and stuff, and then all of a sudden shit's falling from the sky, and then he gets killed because like a quarter gets like lodged through his like eye in his head, and so he dies because of that. And you can see that as the same way. It's definitely not a miracle, but it is like, what are the odds, you know? And I feel
Right.
like that's what all of this is like, what are the odds? And then taking what happened or is happening to you and then using that in your favor and then trying to exploit that. So I feel like it's just Jean Jacket, but on a smaller scale.
I can't even lie. That's a really good way to look at it. I didn't even really think of it like that. Like, because, yeah, like you said, if you look at the full thing as to what's going on in the movie, I like your interpretation of the what is the odds, because it's like, what are the freaking odds that you have this like flying alien that is like can be described as one would call it a UFO, an unidentified flying object, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you've got this UFO hovering around, and what are the odds that it's flying around the Otis family ranch, right? And that's where we get most of our movie. And I will say that when we get out into like the farmland and everything, that I like a lot of the sets that's out there. I love the Jupiter's Claim set. And I saw Brandon say that part of the Halloween Horror Nights this year at Hollywood was they had the Nope and the Us experience for the Terror Tram, where you'd get to go through Jupiter's Claim, and they had the tethered walking around Jupiter's Claim. So it was kind of like a mix of Jordan Peele's movies, and it was really cool. It was definitely a cool experience, for sure. And every time the lights and stuff, like it was creepy too, because like the tether, they'd be chasing you, and then every time like you'd be walking through and all of a sudden the lights would start dimming and flickering, and there'd be a loud thing like something is coming to fly over, and everyone would just stop and look up at the sky, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
That's really cool.
So they did a really good job with that. And that's another interesting thing, is that it's the idea of that this thing doesn't touch you or doesn't come after you if you're not looking at it, you know. Like, it's like, I don't think that it comes after you. That's what they say. I don't think it comes after you if you don't look at it. And every time they tried to show it off, like that's what occurs when Jupe is trying to show it off at Jupiter's Claim, and everyone's just got their eyes on it. It's like a free meal for this thing.
Because again, you're exploiting this thing that you don't fully understand. And again, it's like, it's almost as if like he feels, because, you know, he survived that attack with unharmed. The girl also survived, but she had her face, like half of her face torn off. But he escapes unharmed, and he has that moment, you know, with the chimpanzee before it gets fucking shot, which the whole time I was like, why is no one shot this thing? I'm not for animal cruelty, but this thing is attacking people and it is murdering, so it might need to die. And so finally it got shot, and I was like, but I was still surprised. I was like, holy shit. But, you know, he had this like moment with this animal, and then he has this whole thing at his little, whatever it's called, like his little fair sort of thing going on. And then again, it's almost as if he feels like nothing will happen to him because he's already escaped, and he thinks, again, like 1 in a million chances of something happen, it happens to him, it won't happen again. Like, so yeah, he's like, let's watch this, which I like, because at first I was just like, only like OJ and M and then Angel know about this thing, you know. No, that's not the case. You have him over here who also, Jupe knows what's going on too. So I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting for like them to know, I guess. I don't know. And so then they're all watching it happen, and then of course they all die. Which I liked, because I feel like still at this point we don't know exactly what's going on. And I like that you don't really get to see a lot. You see like the lady's like her like face covering thing like come up, and there's like wind and shit. But then you hear like screamings, and it's like from the point of view inside looking down, and you just see like stuff like moving around, and you hear screamings, and you hear like squishing sounds, like squashing and shit, like liquidy noises.
Yeah.
I really like that, because that's really fucking scary. And I still feel like you don't know entirely what is happening.
Yeah, I will say it was because like it was that scene where we found out that this thing is eating people.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it kind of reminded me of War of the Worlds, like when in the cages, you know, like how the tripods would take the people and keep them in the cages, and they'd like eat them, or something would happen to where they'd get sucked into that thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like and that, again, we know that this movie is a big love to Steven Spielberg films and everything. And War of the Worlds is definitely a good example of that, because like, I honestly thought they were just being held in this thing, but no, it was eating them. Like, that's like what I don't know. That was super, super weird. And super interesting. When I saw that, I was like, whoa. Like, so that's what this thing does. and it also eats like the horses and all that stuff. And I need to talk about the cinematography really quick, especially when this thing is moving in and out of the sky. And I have never in my life, I think, seen nighttime shots look
Fucking beautiful.
as good as this movie does.
Mm-hmm.
The moonlight, I'm a big fan of moonlight shots and everything like that. And the moonlight and the way that everything looked was unreal. And turns out, I was reading an article on this, and the cinematographer was talking a little bit about this too, and so was Jordan Peele. Turns out this nighttime stuff was filmed during the day, and then they have the technology to really make it like look like it's nighttime, which is why the lighting is so as beautiful as it is. Like, I'm like, that is insane. Like,
That's crazy because almost
so
anytime they do that, it looks terrible.
right.
Like there's a lot of movies where they do that and you're like, that's filmed during the day because they only like turn down like the brightness a little bit and put like a blue hue over it. That's really surprising, and that makes sense as to why there would still be so much light because there's a lot of moonlight. But that makes sense. That's
Yeah,
I
and
feel bamboozled.
Misael even just popped in here. He said all the clouds in the movie are all CGI of like, so that's why it looks so good when the ship is going in and out of like the clouds. And I'm like, that is insane because again, never seen nighttime shots look as good as they do in this movie. It's almost freaking inspiring. Like, how do we make nighttime sequences look like this in every movie? Because I mean, the cinematographer that was working on this film is Christopher Nolan's. Do you know who Christopher Nolan is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure. But it's his cinematographer of choice. So yeah, they definitely had a really, really stellar guy working on this, and it's unbelievable what they were able to achieve with it. And the special effects on this thing is insane. It looks so good. Just the way that the movie looks, I strive to make something as good as that one day. But yeah, it's really inspiring to see that.
I would agree. I do think the movie looks beautiful. All the wide open shots. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like the original The Hitcher, because there's a lot of just like open sort of road, just a bunch of like little mountains and hills, and like it's just all like dirt basically, and that's like what this is. It's all just dirt everywhere, but it looks so good, and you feel really isolated, you know, even though Juke's like little thing, it's not that far away from them. It's not too far, but you feel so secluded out here, and there's so much like wide open shots to where you can really feel that, and it helps feel like helpless because like that's scary. The first scene when we kind of see when you have M like dancing inside playing like the music, and you have OJ outside, and then you know everything starts to wind down and shut off. Every time it happened, I was like, oh man, like it feels unsettling just for everything to just stop at once. Because in a way, that's our cue, like in Jaws when the music plays, we know the shark's around. It's the same thing for this. When everything goes dead, that's when we know that Jean Jacket is like above you. That's scary. Just something being above you that you're not aware of, and something that you just don't even comprehend, really, just right above you at any time. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's like once they start getting more familiar that okay, there's this thing here. What the fuck is this? That's where our characters need to come together. Like M, OJ, they go to is it Fry's? Yeah, they go to Fry's.
Fry's, yes, because I've been to Fry's before, and I was like,
we have so many Fry's right around here,
I
so
love that
it's so
store.
funny. Yeah, so they go, and that's where we meet Angel, and Brandon Perez as this character is absolutely amazing. By the way,
love him.
And like you were saying earlier, they have such a good. It's almost kind of like OJ's silence and everything kind of balances. Like he's enough of a charismatic character to where he can be as quiet as he is. But you've then got the balance with not only M, but then Angel joins the picture, and they're kind of like the two comedic reliefs. And then you've got OJ, who's really taking this more seriously than a whole lot of other people. Well, at first, he's kind of weary about it. Like when they're at Fry's and M's kind of explaining to him the plan as to like what it is they need to do to get the money shot, as she would say. He's like, you know, there's a bunch of shit with flying shit online. And then she was like, yeah, but they're not going to get what we're going to get. And then she says the money shot. So Angel helps them get it all set up. And then they discover something very interesting the next day. But we got to talk about the fake barn scene, the fake alien scene. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I will not lie. As soon as OJ walked into that barn, and at the end of the stable, you see that thing start rising off of the ground, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I was the same way because you see it like come up, and I was like, because still this whole time I'm still like, this is an alien movie, and I was like, these are aliens? And like its head, like it looked like your classic sort of alien, like what you would think of an alien, the gray man, you know. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then when the one, because he's trying to take a picture of it, because it's like right there in the corner, and he's trying to take a picture with his fucking flip phone, dude. Come on now, your flip phone.
Yeah, well, he's trying. He's trying.
I'll give it to him. It's kind of cute that he has a flip phone, but so he's trying to take a picture, and then you see one like kind of do like a Michael Myers sort of thing, but like upside down. He like is like hanging, and he fucking punches it. I was like, are these our fucking? And then it was a prank. Duke's kids wearing the fucking, which you see later on that they wear that for the whole little showing that they do. So I was like, okay, I'm really glad that was a fake out, because again, I feel like Jordan Peele is like in on the joke. Like he knows this is probably what we're expecting, and it was just a whole fake out sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which, thank God, because if that was the real people we're going against, I'd be like, no, yeah. It's silly.
I will say it got me at first though. Like it got me enough to be unsettled to like where there was again a nice jump scare. And that was also the scene from the trailer when like you see the head of the alien
like
kind of
come around.
Love that. And I love that it's like, you know, that got a lot of people thinking like, oh my God, there's the alien. That's it right there. But no, that's not really it. The alien is actually the thing that's above us. That's what that is. And then when OJ turns around and he punches the kid, I was cracking up, man. Misael and I, we were cracking up.
That was pretty fucking funny because he punched this kid, which I would have too. Like
natural reaction, dude.
Like that.
Like, you're hanging on this thing. You're dressed like a freaking creature that we believe is to being from outer space. What else are you gonna do? Punch that thing?
You're gonna get hit.
So yeah, like that was definitely funny. But then that leads into the next day, and that is when Angel shows up again, and they're like, you know, what the hell are you doing here? And he's like, holy shit, it's real. And then they discover that it's hiding in a cloud, and the cloud isn't moving. Like they go and play all the footage. So clever. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that is phenomenal writing. It's very creative. It's something that is new and unique, and it's like, there it is. Now, how do they lure it out? And that's what the rest of the movie is pretty much what they need to figure out. How are they really going to defeat this thing? And that's when they bring that cinematographer in to try and assist them. His character, I thought, was okay. I thought he was going to have a little bit more to do than just kind of like pop in and out like from time to time. Like he rejected it at first, and then he's out there. And he's really only in it for like the third act pretty much. But I mean, it's fun watching the journey that these characters go on to try and like really lure this thing out. And and I say lure it because what do they do in Jaws? They try and lure the shark, right? And that's exactly what these characters are doing in this movie. Is they're just trying to keep this thing out so that they know how they can beat this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they give? What does the thing eat before it has that scene where it throws up pretty much on their house? What do they give him? They give him something, right? The horse. It's the horse. It's the fake horse that they give him because that's what he spits out, or
Yeah.
the thing spits out at OJ when he's sitting in the car. That horse comes right through the windshield.
Fuck yeah, that got me.
Yeah,
That
and even though I knew it was coming from the trailer, it still got me in the theater.
because like it eats like anything in its sight, which much like what an animal does, and then it like regurgitates all the shit that's not edible, and that's why the shit's falling from the sky. Which again, I really like that. And like again, that's terrifying when they're like stuck in the house. You have M and Angel stuck in the house, and all the shit's fucking hitting the house, and there's blood everywhere. It's just blood, metal, everything. And then you have OJ who's like stuck and can't get out. And again, what I like about it is like it's not just attacking or anything like that. I was like worried for OJ for a second, and he does like open the door, kind of peeks out.
I love that.
Nope.
I
Which I love.
love
Every
that.
time they said nope, I was like, there it is. Because no, not dealing with that. And that's when he kind of realized like it's like a horse. How we saw in the beginning with the horse, and you have that circle mirror type thing that they're using for like the commercial. And then when the horse looked at itself, it got scared, and so he's like, huh, interesting. And so he uses that to his advantage, and then it's the next day or like a couple hours later, he like wakes up from out there and shit's still going on. And I really like when he like rolled up and you have what was the song? Is it the I wear my sunglasses at night? Wasn't that the song?
Yeah.
I love that. When the song started playing, I was like, oh, I love that shit. And I like the way it sounded, like all distorted stuff. And then shit starts going off again because Jean Jacket's right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to run out. And I like that they leave too. They do leave because they're like, no, it's not worth it. But then they're like, it is worth it. So then they make this grand plan to get the money shot, which I really like the inclusion of the money shot because again, I feel like that is an important part of the movie. It's like, what lengths will you go through in order to get something? And this is like obviously months ago when the movie first came out. Do you know who Logan Paul is?
Yeah.
Did you see any of his tweets about this movie?
I saw a couple of them, but they
so
were
fucking funny because it's just so ironic. Because this man is dumb as hell. He is sitting there, which jump forward a little bit. The cinematographer guy that they get in here, he ends up dying trying to get the money shot. Okay.
Mhm.
Which I feel like that makes sense for his character. You see him
Yeah.
like kind of going through footage and he's like, oh, whatever. He's trying to get that one thing that like is like you're unable to grasp, and he wants that. And so he takes his camera and he's rolling it, and then the jean jacket ends up eating him because obviously he's staring right at him trying to get this money shot. And then Logan Paul's like, would someone like really do that?
Well, yeah.
The same man that went to the suicide forest and literally filmed someone.
Well, yeah.
Someone there, like, come the fuck on, Logan.
Well, there's that, and then there's also the fact that what were they saying earlier in the movie? What was the one reason that they wanted, and they are calling this the money shot, right? It's because if they just got a generic picture of, or even anything of just the ship going through, people are just going to go, oh, that's fake. Like people can just be like, oh, that's inputted into an image, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was trying to go to the extent of getting them this shot that they hired him to get, right? So, I mean, dude, hey, you know what? A for effort, if you ask me. And dude was definitely, whatever money he was getting paid for it, dude definitely deserved it.
He was committed. But if you ever just want to have a laugh, go look at his original thread, because there's like 20 posts he posted about this movie. And a lot of it's like, did you like just not pay attention? Because a lot of it was answered in the movie, you know? I feel like he just had no idea. But I feel like this movie, like, there's so much of this movie that for him, it's like a reflection of his character for like all the wrong reasons, you know, for Logan Paul. And then you have, so, you know, they set off their plan. They have the inflatable guys and they have them all spread out to kind of know where it's at.
Which I love.
Me too, because that's such a good inclusion of like using like what you have to your abilities, because, you know, when it flies overhead, they all like sort of drop down. So they're doing this. They have OJ on the horse kind of like going through. All of a sudden, this fucking guy pops up on a motorcycle. And I was like, who the fuck is this? Like, what is going on? And it's just like a TMZ sort of reporter kind of guy trying to like, oh, what's going on? Like, what do you know about like all these people dying over here? Like, it's unexplained. They're trying to say it was like a mass flood that just took them out. And then you have M, who's like, dude, like, you need to get out of here. Like, you really don't want to like mess with this, because she's trying to like warn him. He obviously doesn't listen because he's like, what the fuck's going on? And then you have him kind of throws off the plan a little bit. And I really like that too, because like OJ's trying to help him. He's doing his best to help him. And he's just not listening because he's trying to fucking record it and stuff. And again, his helmet, with it being that sort of reflective, almost like glass-like sort of thing. I really like that too, because call back to the fucking whatever that's called. Do you know what it's called?
The what?
When they're filming for the commercial, that
I was gonna say I can't tell when you're just doing this. You're like, what's that called?
The thing, you know?
The mirror?
Is it a mirror? It's just a round circle mirror.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
With the horse. Remember when the horse looks at himself and he starts to get a little startled?
Oh yeah. I would just consider it like a big ass mirror is what.
Okay, his helmet is like a big ass mirror. Good callback to the beginning with the horse with the big ass mirror and the whole.
It's a reflective.
It's
a reflective helmet, is what it is.
Yeah, I know that part.
There you go.
Anyways.
Or here, Brandon says, is it a sphere camera?
Is that what it is? I'll take that.
Yeah.
A sphere camera. And
Destiny's like, thanks, Brandon. Better answer than Braden fucking gave me.
Literally. He said, I don't know what it is. And then a reflective helmet. I got that part.
I'm just telling you what's on screen. That's it. What's being presented to me. You know what? If I was in school and I presented that on an essay and I got that wrong, I'd be like, so you're telling me I'm wrong for what is being shown to me right now? That's what I see. If you were a teacher, would you take that as an answer?
No, because I was talking about the thing in the beginning. So I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's absolutely ridiculous. What if I made the reference?
No.
That's bullshit. I would appeal it. I'd be like, you know what? I'm seeing you after class and I'm going to fucking appeal this. So,
whatever.
But anyway, so the sphere camera is what gets the horse going. So
yes.
There you go. Were you saying something or are you done?
I was doing a rundown of what's happening at the end.
Okay, cool. So now the horse is on its way, and what's going on? The jean jacket is now coming at, which I love that shot. It was one of my favorite shots in the trailer. It's one of my favorite shots in the goddamn movie, and it's of the jean jacket coming. It's just the swoof of it coming down, and I love how it's taking over all of the land, like the shadow of it. And it's coming over, and you just see OJ on the horse, just trying to get it to where his mark is, essentially. I love that shot. I shared it on my story too. They used it as one of their marketing things the day that the movie came out. And as it got closer to him, it comes like right down the mountain, and it like makes that like whoo. It's super cool. When I did that, I felt like I was a kid again, just like doing like the airplane thing, like the but yeah, that I love all of that. And then Destiny, break down what happens. I know that you love breaking down the endings, so break it down for us. What's going on?
I gotta see if I can even remember because so much stuff happens. Okay, so I know OJ jumps out into like the barn thing, and that thing's getting fucked up. So then I got worried about him again because that whole shit's getting fucked up, and he's like stuck in there. And then so you have the cinematographer guy. He ends up dying because he's trying to get the money shot. So he like risks it and then dies. Also, the reporter guy dies. Duh. Um, and so they're still trying to like follow through with the plan. And then like Angel ends up getting fucked up, and I got worried about him. I thought he was goner, okay? Because then eventually he has like a fucking tarp on him, and the tarp kind of goes up, but he ends up like falling out. So he hasn't died, which I was really glad because I didn't want any of them to die. Like I was gonna be upset if anyone of those three died. The cinematographer guy, whatever, didn't really care. I kind of figured that was gonna happen. I'm trying to think. So then what I was talking about, I think in the last episode, jump forward a little bit. Also, M gets fucked up because there's a part in the trailer that you do see where it does look like she's going up, and she does get picked up, and then she gets like fucking like thrown basically. So
Yeah.
they're getting roughhoused pretty badly. Jump forward. You have the part with OJ where he like because they're talking earlier about how M had her horse that she wanted, jean jacket and stuff, and you had OJ do the to her and through the window and stuff, and that's something they like always just remembered. And then you have the part with OJ where he's looking at M and does the thing, and I was like, he's sacrificing himself. I was like, no, this can't be happening, because it reminded me a lot of like Stranger Things, where there's like that moment with Eddie when he has like the realization of like what he has to do, and it felt the same. And I was like, I can't handle another sort of. And then the moment with them, I started to get a little teary eyed, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. And then you still have M who's still trying to like follow through with their whole plan, and shit's gone wrong, obviously. And they're back at like Jupe's little place. And earlier they had shown this little sort of well sort of thing that takes pictures when you put like the money in it, and it flashes and it takes a picture, which I like because there's like money on the ground because of like everything that's happened. So she picks up the money and she like puts it in there and is like cranking it, trying to get the money shot. And she does, spoiler alert. But I also really like that they use that big inflatable guy and they set it off like the like air balloon sort of thing. They set it off into the sky, and it's like with jean jacket, which a really good decoy in my opinion. It looks kind of silly, I think, like
Yeah.
floating up in the sky, but I do think it was like necessary because that makes sense. You have something that's like a person, because this animal is not it's not going to know the difference when it's eating inanimate shit. This whole movie, like, it's not going to know the difference. It's not that smart. It's still an animal. It's still an
Yeah.
animal. And so you have it like looking at them. So Jean Jacket tries to eat it. You have M that does get the money shot. The thing goes off right in time. Perfect. Gets a couple of them. And then Jean Jacket eats it and then explodes.
Dude, honestly, when it pops, it's quite funny. I'm not gonna lie,
It
but
is silly.
like, but still, again, reference to Jaws, like when the shark at the end he pops.
Blows
So
up.
it's and this movie, I mean, as a Steven Spielberg fan, as somebody who loves sci-fi, as somebody who loves just like the classic movies like Jaws, and I got the War of the Worlds references, but again, Steven Spielberg fan. As someone who loves Spielberg, I think that this is definitely Peele's greatest achievement that he's done so far when it comes to filmmaking, and that's obviously because it's got the most technical elements that
Mhm.
that a film has had to have that he's made. And I think that they really accomplished and made something very great. I honestly want to see the extended cut of this movie. I want to see what was cut. I'd like to see more of the Gordy stuff. I'd like to see
Mhm.
how all of that kind of had more of a relevant place to play within this script. You you can tell that there's definitely a lot of shit going on that they needed to cut down for film purposes. And I mean, even though Peele is an established filmmaker now, even with just Get Out and Us, I I mean, you could see that Universal likely wasn't going to allow a 3 hour and 50-minute movie. Like,
Yeah.
So that also might have turned off a lot of people to see it in the movie theater. So I think it's got a good runtime. I think that it's got enough of stuff that we should care about. It's got enough of the plot there again to make it the movie that it is. But I'd like to see the extended cut of it. I'd like to see more, maybe just a 3 hour cut. Give us like a 3 hour cut, and I feel like that might extend a bit more on it. But that's just my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I would like to see more, because I do feel like you can kind of feel when it almost feels like a scene's not finished or something. Like, if there's like something I didn't like the movie, which I did tell you, I don't like how it's like separated with like the names, of everything, like some of the Gordy, and then like some of the horses, and then we have Jean Jacket at the end and stuff like that. I didn't really like that, because I felt like, which I know it's sort of like acts in a way, like it's like different chapters of the movie, which like I get that. It's just I didn't like the whole names between like each act. I didn't really care for that. And I feel like a lot of time, like the scene would be happening and then it would cut and then it'd be like Jean Jacket on the screen. I was like, whoa. It just didn't feel like there was enough time, because it almost feels like it's segments. It felt like there wasn't enough time with some segments in a way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's some times where I just felt like it like abruptly cutted. That was my same issue with Smile. I feel like with Smile, there's a lot of scenes that just cut when I was like, I feel like we didn't have enough time to like relish in like what just happened. So that's probably like my biggest complaint of the movie. But so I would like to see more. I would like to see like 3 hours, like you said. I think that would be good, because I do feel like there's stuff that maybe isn't like vital towards the movie or anything, but would have just fleshed more stuff out.
Yeah, like Brandon, he's asking, would y'all watch a near 4 hour cut? Nah, 4 hours might be a bit much.
That's a lot. How long was Titanic though?
Titanic is 3 hours and 10 minutes, I think. Let's look. Titanic. Of course, when I search Titanic, the history comes up of it, not the movie.
Cool.
So, yes, it's like Google. Yes, I know what Titanic was. I know what took history class. I got it. It's 3 hours and 14 minutes.
Okay.
3 hours and 14 minutes. So
yeah, something like that would be good. I've watched Titanic plenty of times.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Brandon says same runtime as Avatar 2, which comes out next week. But yeah, anything else you want to say about Nope, Destiny?
I really liked it. I did see a comment to say I thought OJ died. I did too. I was messaging Braden. I was crying because I thought OJ died. I don't know how I missed the fact that he is alive at the very end. And I think it's because I was just upset. And I just was like, okay, that's enough for me now. Thank you. And then Braden was like, OJ lived. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no. And then I went back and he did. So I was really happy.
I'm not going to lie. You had me second guessing what I saw in the theater. I was like, wait a minute. Did I see a different cut? Like, what's going on? Did something happen? Did something change? Did they release a new cut on Peacock that maybe I haven't seen yet? I was hella confused. But yeah, so I was glad to make you feel better knowing that, yes, OJ.
I was like really upset by it. I was like sitting there like 10 minutes after the movie finished and I was still like crying just thinking about it. And then he said that and then I like wiped my tears. I was like, oh, why am I crying? Yeah. That's so silly.
He
lived,
in
a better mood.
So, yeah,
it was like a Friday night too. I was like going into the weekend just like, cool, I'm just gonna be sad all weekend now. No.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he did live, and I was happy to see that too. You know, like I didn't want him to die, and so I was very happy that he ended up surviving. But yeah, I too very much enjoy this movie. I think that it's a lot of fun. It's, I'd say, Peele's second best film in my opinion. I actually do like this one just a little bit more than Us, even though I really do like Us. I'm seeing a lot of different rankings for Jordan Peele movies, even though there's only 3 of them. But
Yeah.
I will say the consensus I'd say is that Get Out is still his best one, which I definitely do think. But Destiny, what do you got coming up this week? Any shows coming up this week that you're going to be involved with?
Matt just joined in, and I will be on Matt's channel tomorrow.
What?
We're watching A Nightmare Before Christmas, a movie he has not seen.
Matt.
So we will be watching that. I'm really excited.
Enjoy, buddy.
I love A Nightmare Before Christmas. It's definitely one of my favorite Christmas and like Halloween movies, like whatever. But it's definitely one of my favorite Christmas movies. So I'm really excited. I haven't seen it in, I would say, a couple of years. So I'm excited to watch it again.
Yeah, no, that's going to be awesome. I mean, honestly, I hope that Matt, buddy, if you're in here still, I hope that you enjoy it. It's a fun watch. So, and then anything else you got coming up?
Wait.
Nothing?
Back from the Dead.
Back from the
Sunday,
Dead.
the 11th. Yeah.
Is that this? Yeah, that's this Sunday. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that too on Sunday, the 11th, 11 a.m. my time.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nothing for me. Nothing for me, people. I'm out of town this weekend, so I got nothing on the lineup right now. Got a few reviews I'm going to be doing next week for some filmmakers that have sent me their movies that want me to discuss it. Very excited to have the opportunity to do that. I do hope to get a Wednesday formal review out sometime next week. And I mean, honestly, I'd say that's not relevant enough for us to talk about if you just want to talk about that. But, you know, you tell me if you want to discuss Wednesday or not on Fear Freaks.
I feel like it's too much.
Too much? Okay.
Too
then
much.
Then I'll just do a formal review on Wednesday, but I'll have that out sometime next week then too. So yeah, Monday night we got the Spider-Man podcast back. Next Wednesday we'll be back with Fear Freaks again. We'll have some new, probably a Christmas horror topic as we progress further into December. And next week we also celebrate 50 episodes. The big 50. We're halfway to 100. So that's a pretty big deal if you ask me. So yeah, thank you guys so much as always for being a great audience tonight. Destiny, thank you so much for showing up as always. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you guys like this, don't forget to join this channel on its journey to 15,000 subscribers. And we will see you guys next week on Fear Freaks. Have a great rest of your guys' week.